It is getting very late, but I'm going to do a Hoya tour. Yeah, it's really dark. I'm probably gonna have to film like every single shot in the window or this greenhouse lighting. Dirty mirror, but fit check. I just did a little thrift haul video and it's getting late. My house isn't looking its best right now, but we will start with my Pride and Joy. She needs watered. This is Miss Hoya Linearis. I will get out all of my other Linearises. Is it Linearis or Aris? Someone told me. I'll get out all of her babies too that I have, but this is Mama. If I can figure out how to insert pictures into YouTube, I will show you when I got her. She was so small. I need more lighting. I'm sorry. She lives up here. I'll show you. So she lives in my kitchen window on one of these orchid baskets. This is one of her babies. When Linearis grows out, it looks so creepy. You can clearly see I missed some waterings here because they will drop their leaves if you miss any waterings. But this one's getting pretty big too. I've sold a lot of cuttings from Linearis, and this one just got watered. This is a little, oh god. This is a little pot that I'm trying to grow out. Probably my favorite Hoya. Next up is my Mama Retusa. Retusa is definitely in top 5 of mine. Look how big she is. I don't know where the best to see. But she's pretty massive. Again, if I can figure out how to insert pictures, I will when I got her because she was just little and scraggly. Let me go grab her siblings. I don't want to move this one off this little chair because it looks so cute and she's blooming. I've taken so many cuttings from this plant. This is actually a mother plant to the plant I'm about to show you, which is crazy because this one, like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I've cut her back. But look at all the cutie blooms. She's adorable in her little seat. This is actually the cuttings from that little one that I showed you living in my window. She has a bunch of spent blooms on her. With the lighting being this bad, I honestly might see what this video looks like and then just refilm it tomorrow because it's pretty bad. Okay, new day to finish the Hoya collection tour. I think yesterday or last night I did my Hoya Linearis and Retusa, so today we'll be doing the rest. In my kitchen window, we have my Hoya Croniana Black. You can see some peduncles forming. So Hoya Croniana Hoya Croniana Black is one of the Hoyas that I feel like actually gets along with me. It can miss a few waterings. The other ones, absolutely not. Not very dark. I wish I had her in a darker spot to put her in. Also, if I'm talking weird, I had dental work done today, so this whole side of my face is numb. But this is Hoya Croniana Black. This is Hoya Lacunosa Snowcaps. Yeah, she has some peduncles going on too. There are some really splashy pieces in here and then other ones that aren't. I feel like I am learning that I'm not a Lacunosa girly. I think I like If there's a difference between the two, I know there's a debate. I think I like Croniana better, the heart little shaped leaves. I don't know, I think they're a little easier to care for too. These ones really do not like to miss waterings. And I also have a bunch of that same plant rooting in this propagation vessel right here behind the camera, my phone. Up next is Hoya elliptica. This is I would say medium care. She likes a lot of water, but she's in cocoa husks, so I think that is why. That's what she was shipped to me in. I recently moved her under one of my Barina lights, and I don't think she likes it, so I think I'm gonna move her back to the south facing window. Just trying to get this dead. I'll get that later. But her roots look good. I love the turtle shell leaves. I feel like this one needs a lot of water. Same with Retusa and Linearis. I feel like I didn't get to go over that because it was dark and I was just not trying to film. Sorry we had a leak and we had to patch that too. I know no one probably cares, but actually I can go ahead and go back over Linearis. Someone please tell me. This is her in the daylight. She has some roots coming out of the bottom too. This is a very, very thirsty Hoya. I would recommend, if you are getting Hoya Linearis, then get a decent, if you're getting a cutting, getting a decent size cutting, like probably about that size, and I would lay the whole thing on sphagnum moss, perlite, whatever, because I feel like the smaller the cutting of Linearis doesn't do well at all. I've had more success propagating bigger cuttings, and once they're rooted, then I can cut them up, if that makes any sense. Or if you could just find a mature plant. I know they're more expensive right now, but if you could find a more mature plant, then I would recommend getting one. It is honestly, it's just so beautiful to have in your collection. I love it so much. It reminds me of like a weeping willow. I know I talked about Retusa yesterday a little bit, but I feel like it was rushed. This is one of my Retusas that are in my window. My medium-sized one, I have one that's a little bit larger than this, and then a smaller one that's actually the mother plant of this one. With these, I feel like if you start with a small plant, which I did, it takes years, like 2 years for it to start going, but once it starts going, it really, really takes off. Also, if you can take cuttings, just from my experience, I'm not an expert, if you can take cuttings of your plant and regrow them in your own environment, in your house, I feel like they grow. At least that's what worked for me. Like I said, I have a little tiny plant over there that was in the chair from yesterday. That's the mother plant to this. And I haven't really cut back the other one that much, maybe once to sell a few cuttings. But this is definitely one of my favorites, probably right behind Linearis. In this hanging basket in my window in the kitchen, I have Hoya Nicholsoniae. I know a lot of people say this is Hoya Fitchii, however you say it. I bought this from Steve's Leaves under Nicholsoniae, and they had another plant listed as Fitchii, so I believe this is Nicholsoniae. I don't think I'll be able to prove it until I get blooms, but if you like veiny plants, this one is a good one. It's not expensive. This one, the only issue is the new growth is probably, on all Hoyas I've experienced, the easiest to knock off. I've knocked off so many baby leaves of this plant. I feel like I'm talking really weird. I'm sorry. This whole side is numb. She wants to climb, but I want her to trail, so that's what we're doing. That's what Mama's making you do. She is very thirsty. I haven't ever repotted her, so not sure about that. No tips on that. But if you like nice veiny dark green Hoya, this is a nice cheap option to buy. If somebody knows the variety of this Hoya, please tell me. I'm pretty sure it's probably just a regular Carnosa splash. I don't know. I bought it, like I said in my last video, with intents on this leaf putting out more silver leaves, and as you can see, it did. And I don't know if she needs watered. It doesn't look like it. This one I can't give any information about. This is probably my newest Hoya in my collection. So I'm not really sure about the care. I'm sure it's like a regular Carnosa care, but we will see. Down in my dreaded DIY greenhouse, I'm gonna sit you up right here. I have this long black skirt on. I have Hoya sigillatus, AH001 that has rooted, thank the Lord, because this plant had root rot for me. It had dry rot, and I don't get, usually I can save a lot of plants. That one did not do good in my propagation bins. I have a few more back here. This one is rooting, and this one is rooting. This one's fully rooted. Look at those. And it is actually putting out new growth. And these are my makeshift ugly cloches. Do not make fun of me, but it works for that plant, thankfully. I also have in here Miss Carnosa compacta that hasn't done anything for me in 3 years. Sorry about the dogs. Also have a little rehab of Hoya memoria gracilis, whatever the new name is. Right here I have Hoya GPS 7240 that was a rehab. I think she is more than ready to come out, but I'm scared to take her out. I really love this plant. She got sunburned in the summer outside. I move a lot of my Hoyas outside in the summer. So she got moved in here. I put that down there just for her aerial roots to root in. But I might take that out soon. I will show my large sunrises later, but this is a sun-stressed sunrise. This is what they're supposed to look like. Neither of mine are sun-stressed right now. Over in this corner, I have Hoya crassiopetalata that I want to trellis, but as you can see, she's got a lot that just didn't want to, I guess. I have another one of these. I want to make a video potting them together so I have a larger plant. I'm really sorry about the dogs. Like I said, I have a lot of animals. I work in vet med. I have a foster dog right now, a resident dog, 3 cats, and they, every time I get my phone out, I feel like to play fight. So I'm so sorry about that. We are in my bedroom now. I feel like my bedroom has most of my Hoya. First, I will start with the most exciting thing. This is my Hoya obovata. And as you can see, FedEx is right behind me. As you can see, she's finally bloomed for me. I got this plant when she was so small. She's on a 3-foot trellis right now. The ones up here are starting to open. I'm trying to get the whole thing in the frame. For Hoya obovata care, I feel like they appreciate a lot of water and patience, because I did get this when it was super small. It was probably literally to here. They do like a trellis. I tried to have this as a hanging basket. I would love to have a Hoya obovata hanging basket. They look stunning. They look beautiful. It just was top heavy and kept falling over. So this is my beautiful Hoya obovata. I cannot get her in the frame. As you can see, the cats tore down the curtains I had in the background on the wall. I've only propagated this one time and it was easy. I propagated it in perlite. I don't have much info on propagation on Hoya obovata. Once she fully fills out this trellis, I will start propagating her, but I'm not very well versed in that yet. Don't have any tips, I guess. Not the camera angle moving every 3 seconds. Next is Hoya Bertoniae, species affinity Bertoniae. This plant is one of, every time, one of my favorites. I have propagated her so many times, sold so many cuttings of her. She is so rewarding. She did bloom for me. Her blooms smelled like butterscotch. The obovata I didn't mention, the obovata blooms don't smell like anything for some reason. Maybe next bloom around that will. She's not sun stressed. I want her to get that rosy pink color. If you're having trouble growing Bretonnier, I highly recommend, if you have a bigger plant, cutting her back, because once I started cutting her back, she really took off, started to grow down, because before she was just up here. She's large and in charge. She's one of my biggest Hoya. For propagation, I always propagate her in perlite, a mix of perlite and chunky soil, probably 90% perlite and then 10% soil. And the blooms are pink, which is amazing. I need to start a count on how many Hoyas I do have. Next is Hoya RHM 1414. This is a Rick Morier hybrid. I've recently trellised her because I thought she wanted it, but now she's not doing much. But if you can see her splashy variegation, she grows really fast too. She also has a peduncle that has never flowered for me, but that's okay. All right, this will be one of my favorites once I get her big. This is my Hoya Polynera Broguette. I got her as a 2-leaf cutting in a plant trade. And she's recently been moved out of the grow cabinet, so fingers crossed. Again, I don't have any tips for this Hoya because I've just been waiting for her to grow out. What is going on? I think she got too cold next to the window. I'm very concerned about that. This is one of my favorite plants. This is Hoya Carrara Sumatra. Oh my god, I'm so upset about that. I need to check out her roots. I have her in a clear pot, luckily. I hope I didn't overwater her. I hope it was just from the cold window. Her roots look fine and she's putting out new growth. I might have to just move her further away from the window. For this plant, it does like a lot of water. I really hope that this is not... Can you tell? I'm not very good at filming. For propagation on this one, I do the same 90% perlite and the rest like a chunky soil mix. This one really likes chunky soil and a lot of water, I've noticed since having her. I also got this plant as, what was it? It was probably like a 4-leaf cutting. Don't look at that. That is a crime. All right, that was upsetting. On to the next. This is Hoya rotundiflora. She's in a lot of perlite. I don't want to, how can I show this? I also got this one as a 4-leaf cutting. These 4 leaves up here. She's shooting out this new vine. This seems to like medium watering, I would say. I think it likes to get dried out and it likes a lot of sun. Really hope to get a big specimen of this. I want to grow it out very large. I love the Shrek finger looking plants. Not looking plants, I like any type of weird Jurassic, old, crusty Hoyas. And in this one and another one over there, I have Hoya Memoria that I'm gonna have to do something about that. I'm gonna probably have to put that in a perlite cloche to get those rooted. Next, we have Hoya RHM Teardrops. This is another Rick Morier hybrid. All my hybrids are Rick Morier. This is the only hybrids I have. I would love to have more. Putting out this new growth. I'm sure, very sure she wants a trellis, but I don't have any more. I have her in this little tiny pot. She's not root bound or anything yet, so I think she's okay. Don't know much about any of my RHM varieties when it comes to propagation. I do know that they enjoy a lot of water when they're dried out. Other than that, that's it. In this white like chalice thing, there's some spent blooms on this one. I wish it was blooming right now. This is Hoya croniana. Oh, she looks like she needs watered. Let me try to get her out of here. This is Hoya croniana Super Silver. This is one of my favorites. Again, one of my favorites is all of them. She's recently just started blooming for me. She doesn't look like she wants water, but her leaves are telling me she wants water. Might wait till tomorrow to play it safe. This one for propagation, Hoya croniana, to me, are kind of difficult to propagate. I don't know why, but I feel like they just rot. I try to do perlite only for Hoya croniana, and I've had success with a lot of them, but I've also had a lot of fails. You will see in a second. For care for this one, don't miss a watering. She'll get really mad. Other than that, it's a pretty easygoing plant and blooms a lot. And they're just so pretty. This silver, I cannot wait till this one grows all the way out. In this, I don't even know why I'm showing you this. This makes me look like I don't take care of my plants. This is a bunch of those. This is actually from a different plant, not that plant. They aren't rooting for me at all. They're completely like, I'll show you, wilted. I tried to do a little terrarium moment for extra humidity. The one in the very back looks like it's gonna be okay, but the rest do not. All right, these are my Hoya Matilde splashes. This is the mother plant. I got this as a 4-leaf cutting, and this is the pot that I have made from her. This is what I mean by taking cuttings in your own environment, in your own home environment, and them doing better. It's just always worked for me. This one, I mean, she's doing okay, but this was just a little bit of cuttings I threw in here, and it has completely taken off. So this is Matilde Splash. This is so beautiful. One of the most beautiful Hoya. These are in perlite, so it's really hard to, This is her propagations. Doing way better than mother plant. Also might be because she's in my acrobar. I had the other one in my greenhouse though, and it was the same, but it has all these offshoots. It's just a really beautiful Hoya. I think everybody should have a Matilde, whether it's the regular green splash or super splash. They're so pretty and rewarding. This is Hoya RHM 009. This one I do know loves water. This is another Rick Moyer hybrid, so will be the next one I show. The next two I show. I don't know much about propagation for these. I'm waiting for them to grow out for me. If anybody has any of his hybrids, I would appreciate some tips on how to get them to grow. I got them all as single leaf cutting, so I'm doing pretty good. But this one looks really good mature. I've seen it on the Facebook page. Another hybrid, RHM hybrid. I have the tag for this. I lost it. I want to say it is like, I don't want to butcher it because I know I'll be wrong, but something like 6782. I don't know. I'll find the tag because you do not want to lose the tags to hybrids, I've learned. This one does like a lot of water too. These are RHM Hoya Ligia. Not sure how to say that. This is the one that's doing bad. This is the insurance cutting that is completely rooted up. I think I panicked. I got all these from a seller in a bundle, and I thought this one had root millies, but I couldn't tell if it was perlite, so I dumped it in rubbing alcohol because I am not messing with root millies. I've never had them, and that definitely fried all the roots I had. But luckily I have that insurance cutting that has rooted. I'll open it up so you can see. It's like little chunky. It reminds me of Chelsea. I wonder what this hybrid is crossed with, because they're very chunky little cutie leaves. This is just in perlite. I do most of my propagations in perlite. I do sphagnum moss too a lot, but it's just hard to get the roots out. If I'm selling plants, I try to do perlite and sphagnum because it's easiest to ship in. I have another RHM variety I forgot about. I don't know what to do about this wild thing. This is 426. Oh, this needs water. This is like wilted. I need to do that actually immediately before I forget. This is like huge. I don't know if you can tell, but they're almost the size of obovata. And look how bad it wants a trellis. And I don't have any to give her. I'm gonna go water this. All right, this is Hoya spigenensis. Did I say that right? I got this as a freebie in a trade. People are so nice. I don't want to take it out of the cloche because I've had troubles rooting it. I gave it dry rot, and it's supposed to be easy Hoya, so I don't know what I'm doing. It gets really pretty sun stressed too, the pictures I've seen of bigger mature plants. If you guys have any tips on this, if I should take it out of the cloche, I know it has some good roots now, but I am scared. All right, we're losing daylight, but this is exciting. This is my Hoya Thompsonii Splash in the cutest cloche ever, mind you. And it is putting out new growth. You can see it better down here, but right there is the new leaf and two new vines coming out. So I have hope, even if they don't come out as splashy as the older leaves. Here is my Wilbur Graves. I suck at filming. The old leaves are super silvery, but the new ones I'm having issues with. It's putting out new growth, so maybe once it gets, there's a bunch of roots in here, you can see. Once it gets more established, I might try to cut it back and get those super silvery leaves back. This is just regular Hoya Mathilde. All of the cuttings that come from my splashy Mathilde that aren't splashy I throw in here. So now I have a new little, which they're coming out really small under the grow light, but I have a new little unsplashy Mathilde now. This is Hoya Lacunosa Mint, Silver Mint. Oh, the daylight is gone, basically. I was scared this would happen like it did yesterday. But she is super splashy all over. Not splashy, she's like fully silver in a lot of places. This one I've never tried to propagate or anything like that, so I just know that she likes a lot of water. This is my smaller Crassiopetalata that I want to pot up with my bigger one. This is also just doesn't get enough credit. It's a basic plant, but it's so pretty and veiny. Look at those deep dark veins. It's just such a pretty Hoya. This is another one of my favorites. This is Hoya Curtisii. And I had a scare with this one when I first got it. Everybody knows the lore, I feel like, of Hoya Curtisii and how hard they are to care for. So I took insurance cuttings and I basically have a whole new starter plant of that. But this one, at first, I feel like people have mixed, based on their environment, mixed care advice, whether they like to dry out or stay moist. Mine definitely like to dry out completely. And she's putting out new growth, and new roots. For propagation on this one, I always do sphagnum moss because the way the leaves are shaped, and it's just hard to get it in perlite or soil or something. So I sat them all flat and put them in a high humidity cloche. And this one is completely rooted down to the bottom. This one's all sphagnum moss, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I might just experiment and see how long it can take it. I do fertilize it, so that helps a little bit, I'm sure. In the living room, I have all of the big girls right now, starting off with Hoya Chelsea. I really wish it didn't get dark because this plant is just beautiful. She is the size of me. I have 2 of these. The other one looks the same, just a little bit smaller, so I'm not gonna get her out. But this is one of my favorite basic Hoyas that I also feel like doesn't get enough credit. It just has those leaves that are so chunky and cute. My camera sucks. I feel like this is the Hoya that if you're trying to like draw a picture, you're drawing this plant. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but it is just so cute. Look at those chunky leaves. These are, if I can grab it, my Hoya sunrises that are not sun stressed. This one I actually got pollinated this summer outside. I don't know what pollinated it, but I have seedlings of it. I had a couple seed pods on it. In my first video, there was one in it. And this one's my smaller one that I've taken a lot of cuttings from, but it does have peduncles on it. These are just so beautiful when they're sun stressed. I recommend this to anybody. They are fast growing, fast rooting. They pretty much root in anything. I always do my usual perlite or sphagnum moss, and it does good every single time. They like a lot of water. Other than that, they're pretty easygoing. I can't even like carry this. This is Hoya Crimson Queen on a 4-foot trellis. This is her in all her glory. This lighting sucks. I need to start filming earlier. I'm so sorry. This is a very easy Hoya. I wish that this would bloom for me more than anything. This is one of the longest Hoyas, or one of the Hoyas I've owned the longest. These leaves up here are big. I don't see any peduncles on her, I never have. Also, I need to probably retrellis her because she is getting top heavy. I've propagated this a bunch, same as the others. All right, back in front of a grow light because it's dark and I did it to myself and waited to film this video till late. This is Hoya Wyetii, and I think something is terribly wrong with her. She's not like absorbing water when I water her. She might have dry rot. So I'm going to have to up pot her and check out what is going on. But I love this leaf. I would love a Hoya Shepherdii, but really like the string bean Hoya. I think that's what it is. I love the lance shaped leaves. So I had her, and I had one that was doing worse than her that is now doing better. Me, as I say, was doing better. That's dead. The other growth is like nice and plump, how a YIDI leaf is supposed to be. Like you can snap this and sap will come out. The other one is just not hydrating. I think that I accidentally made this a self-watering. Yup. I accidentally made this self-watering, so I'm sure that's why it is doing good. I need to get more, maybe like try pon or something for some of my Hoyas, because I know it does really good for some people. And looks like it's doing pretty good for that one. I'm knocking over everything. I just knocked over my Wilbur Graves. And I will need a vacuum in here now because I've knocked over a million things. But I'm literally like hunched over in this little corner. This is a super Lacunosa snow caps, the super splashy cuttings that I took that I didn't water properly, of course. I think that's all the Hoya, but I'm sure I missed some. I'll probably realize after I count how many Hoya I have. But that was the end of the video. I'm literally hunched over right now. That's the end of the video, and I plan on doing a plant chore video. I keep saying that. I need to do plant chores so bad. There's so many of my plants that are suffering right now. But thank you guys, and thank you all for the nice comments, and I don't know what else to say. I'm so awkward.